The regular season came to an end on Thursday night, which means that it is now officially the best time of the year, the Stanley Cup playoffs. There's many great matchups to watch out for in the first round, but of course we're going to talk about the one that features our Colorado Avalanche, that being the Jets versus the Avs. Colorado failed to win the division this season and will be on the road to begin the playoffs for the first time since before the COVID bubble. The Jets were a team that many counted out at the beginning of the year, but have been extremely good all season and find themselves as the 2 seed in the Central Division. Both teams have been a little streaky as of late, as the Jets would fall out of the race for the division after a 6-game losing streak on the East Coast. They would then later rattle off 8 wins in a row to end the season. Colorado won their first 7 games after the trade deadline, but then would end the season extremely ice cold. The team that can find a way to get hot throughout this series could be a huge factor into which team comes out victorious. The two teams have met 3 times so far this season, with Winnipeg of course taking all 3 matchups. They won by scores of 4-2, 6-2, and of course the huge 7-0 win in Denver last Saturday that basically clinched home ice for the Jets. However, regular season games don't mean much when it comes to postseason hockey, so let's look deeper into what gives each of these teams an advantage over the other heading into this series. The Avalanche are a very top-heavy team. They are of course led by their top line made up of Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, and Jonathan Drouin. MacKinnon, of course, has been out of this world, setting a new record for the Avs/Nordiques organization for the most points in a single season in franchise history in the final game against Edmonton with 140 points. They, of course, are joined by the stud defenseman Cale Makar, along with some other great players like Devon Toews, Artturi Lehkonen, and Val Nichushkin. However, these players have been very hot and cold throughout the season. Although Colorado may be stacked up front, there is definitely concern with the depth in their lineup, as they have lacked a lot of production out of their 3rd and 4th lines as of late. Along with that, they've really struggled in their defensive zone and have not had terrific goaltending. So, they're going to need the big dogs like MacKinnon and Rantanen to carry them into the playoffs to have success. While the Jets may not have the superstars like Colorado, they still certainly have plenty of talent. At the beginning of the year, there was a question whether Mark Scheifele and Connor Hellebuyck would even re-sign with the team. However, they both signed matching deals and have been terrific for the Jets. Hellebuyck is going to win the Vezina as the best goalie in the league, and Scheifele has 72 points in 74 games. He is joined by stars like Kyle Connor and Josh Morrissey on the blue line. They also picked up key pieces like Gabe Vilardi and Alex Iafallo in a trade with LA this summer, who would fit in perfectly in Winnipeg. Along with that, the Jets have some of the best depth in the league. Their 3rd line is made up of Adam Lowry, Tyler Toffoli, and Nino Niederreiter, which is one of the better 3rd lines in the NHL. They're then still able to keep guys like Iafallo, Vladislav Nemestikov, Mason Appleton, and Morgan Barron on their 4th line, which is really solid. Plus, you can add in their elite goaltending that they get from Hellebuyck, which is, at this point, miles better than what the Avalanche have to offer. Both teams made some huge splashes at the deadline, as of course Colorado picked up Casey Mittelstadt to fill their 2-seat hole, Sean Walker as another puck-moving defenseman, and Brandon Duhaime and Yakov Trenin for some depth and grit. Winnipeg also filled a 2-seat hole with Sean Monahan. They also picked up Tyler Toffoli for some secondary scoring, which also included a bottom defenseman, Colin Miller. When looking at this series, I have a really tough time deciding which way to lean. There's a reason these two teams finished so close to each other in the standings, and that's just because they're so even. The Avalanche obviously have the star power with Makar, MacKinnon, and Rantanen. However, there's one thing that you need in the playoffs, it's depth and structure. And right now, the Jets have much better depth and are playing with much better structure. They're 4 lines deep, while the Avalanche are really just 1 to 2 depending on the night. Along with that, the Jets have played much better in their own zone as of late, which has helped Hellebuyck out massively. Along with that, Georgiev has been extremely shaky as of late, which gives a huge advantage to the Jets. The key for the Avalanche is going to have to be staying disciplined in the defensive zone and getting their depth rolling. If they can defend better in their own zone, it makes it much easier on Georgiev to make the saves that he needs to make. Along with that, if they can get their depth rolling, it makes them much tougher to play against, as opposing teams, like the Jets, are going to have to stop more than just the first line. For the Jets, the key is just, like I said, going to be slowing down the stars in the first line for the Avalanche. If they can shut down the top guys from Colorado, they will absolutely own this series, and I have no doubt about that. They are deeper from the second line all the way down. Obviously, shutting down McKinnon and company is easier said than done, but should they be able to keep them off the board, it will without a doubt be their series to lose. So, which way am I going to go? I honestly really have no clue. To me, if the Avalanche get hot and can find their game, they're going to take this series in 5. But if they keep playing the way they have over the past month or so, I just don't see a way they can overcome Winnipeg's depth. Personally, as much as it hurts me to say as an Avs fan, I have Winnipeg winning this series in 6 games. Like I said, it doesn't matter how many superstars you have when it comes to playoff hockey. It matters what kind of depth you have and how much structure you play with. And right now, the Jets win both of those categories, along with the goaltending, which can go a long ways. So as an Avs fan, I have the Jets in 6. However, that isn't me losing faith in the Avs. That doesn't mean I don't see them winning this series at all. I think it's going to be a really fun series to watch, and I think the Avs are going to put up a great fight, and I wouldn't be surprised in the least bit if they're able to come out on top. I just hope that we're able to enjoy this series, and of course hope that in the end the Avalanche will be able to come out and win this one. But with that being said, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you think that Colorado is going to be able to take this series? Do you think Winnipeg is going to be able to hold on? Technically, the Avs are underdogs, so it would be an upset if they were able to get this win. But with that being said, I would like to say thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy this playoff run, and I'll see you next time.